All back in open session, and we can go ahead and invite, Brian O'Silver will be coming back, and he's waiting outside along with the owners of the Northern Divide, Mitch and Kelsey Kerfeld, and our legal counsel, Eric Honkinen. Thank you. Okay, we're back in open session, in the public, and we are now live streaming. Apologize for the long delay for you to be waiting outside. We had some significant discussions about the issues related to the Northern Divide restaurant, and I see Mr. and Mrs. Kerfeld just here, along with their attorney, Eric Honkinen. And prior to going into closed session, Mr. Honkinen indicated that you would like to address the council. I have a few words. Is that correct, Mr. Honkinen? Okay, Mitch Kerfeld and Mrs. Kerfeld, Mitch and Kelsey, please come forward and turn on the microphone so it's turned to green. And welcome the council, and we welcome any information or statements you'd like to make or like to provide for us at this point in time.
I just wanted to briefly touch base on that. Last year we did have a record-breaking year. Our numbers are prior to leasing the property. We are on track for another record-breaking year. We have weddings booked, we have events booked. As I said in the last meeting, I can guarantee going forward there'll be no issues with period, as we'd like to set up an auto pay, which would avoid any
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kerfeld. Ms. Kelsey, anything you'd like to add? Okay, well, okay, thank you. And if you want to just remain seated up in the front here, just in case you have any other information. Mr. Honkinen, do you have anything else, other information you'd like to disseminate to the open session council right now, before we move with some action?
So if there's an opportunity, if there's questions or anything that we can field right now, if there's anything that's of a factual nature that might be helpful, just to give some additional information so that maybe if there's any, I just don't want any decisions being made if there's like untrue statements that are being based, like decisions are being based on.
Okay, thank you. And if I may clarify, the advertisement in the paper was a letter of interest. It wasn't RFPs. It was indicated in your email. They're not RFPs, they're just letters of interest. Just to clarify that as well. So with any other information that you want to provide before we move forward with an action step here?
I think it would depend on what that is, but I'll let the council make its decision. So.
Okay, and what action step we take, we may or may not be able to respond based upon that motion, but we certainly do what we can in order to accommodate that. So, I'm going to be looking for a motion, and I'm going to, if somebody would like to make it, or if we could ask our attorney to actually clarify the motion that we all move together to try to craft. I see Councilor Johnson and his line on, so he's going to take a shot at it. Councilor Johnson.
One thing I'd just like to clarify is that setting up the auto pay is not something you do with the city, it's something you do at your bank. So feel free to move forward with that as you want. The first motion I'll make is to authorize city staff to begin collecting late fees on all city accounts that are late. This is it was a forgiveness we did during the beginning of COVID, and so we want to go back to our city policy of collecting fees as indicated in contracts and agreements.
Okay, thank you. A motion made by Councilor Johnson to rescind the current policy or motion with respect to forgiving late fees for anything that we collect. It was during the pandemic, and so we're going to sunset that. Is there support for that?
Support.
Support by Councilor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Counselor Johnson.
I will move based on section, or paragraph 25, section L, to set a September 30th notification of contract termination, of the current contract notification, so that we can clarify the process of our lease.
A move by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No. Motion.
Johnson?
Aye.
Aaronzelli? Yes. Huffy?
No.
Baraboo is absent. Friedlieb?
No.
Paulson?
Aye.
Beyondich?
Does the motion pass or fail?
4-2.
And it passes. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Anything else? Counselor Johnson?
I will move to continue on a parallel path to collect the letters of interest moving forward as advertised.
Okay, it is moved by Counselor Johnson to continue to receive letters of interest with respect to the operation of the North Divide Restaurant. Is there support? Is there support? Is there support?
I'll support. Discussion.
Support by Counselor Paulson for further discussion. Further discussion, Counselor Paulson.
Thank you. Can we clarify that, or maybe have our attorney clarify what this motion is? Or do you want to clarify?
Was the motion to continue the, accept?
Yes, it's
till-
just the process we've already started of collecting interest based on our initial, and I'm pretty sure I made that motion, is that the current contract does not work for the needs of the city. And we need to get a different contract. And so our agreement, or whatever the terminology is. And so this just allows for other people to show interest, including the current people. And that's all it is, just to bring that information forward with the deadline, I think we said, of March 30th.
April 1st. Okay.
April 1st, yes, Monday, yes, April 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was the motion, that was a clarification of the motion, and it was a second by you for further discussion. Counselor Paulson, is there any further discussion? Counselor Freely.
So upon the culmination of that process, then, and we review those, including one that they may submit themselves, would they still have first right of refusal to meet the competition that's been brought forth?
Brian?
No, not necessarily, no.
Okay. Any other comments under discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
Huffy?
No.
Baraboo is absent. Friedlieb?
No.
Paulson?
Yes.
Beyondich? Johnson?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-2. Thank you. Any other motions or questions or comments under this particular item, under item 8 on the agenda? Okay. Any other items of concern coming in? I have 2. Do you have one? Let's go with yours first.
Fire Marshal Jake Keel couldn't stay, but he did want to talk to the council about the National Fire Safety Council. Annually, they do a fundraising campaign through the Virginia Fire Department. They've been doing it for the last 20 years and with great success. The process starts in April with the fundraising period, and funds are then directed to the Virginia Fire Department in the form of a check made out to the National Fire Safety Council. Once the funds are in, they have a budget of items that they use to purchase quantity of supplies and materials for community events, such as the open house, presentations at schools, senior housing, station tours, career presentations. The Donors are then recognized by name being placed on those printed materials that are handed out. Materials are for the year are ordered early summer. Once received, the materials are put together by age and a topic to be used during specific events. So what happens is a letter goes out from the National Safety Council saying, support your local fire department, get your name on the advertisement. The money comes back into the fire department. And so then the booklets that are created say this booklet has been sponsored by these businesses. But they need council permission to do that before they can solicit again for the 20th year.
Yeah, and I think when I work in the Metro and the Sheriff's Department here, running the community service program, we did exactly the same thing. And all these, the money that was donated, you got tenfold the materials that you need to help with education purposes throughout the schools.
Absolutely, because they also provide the materials that are involved. So it's very, very, very cost effective and gives them, like I said, those handouts they give at the school and open houses and such.
Yeah, so I'm looking for a motion or some council action moving forward. Counselor Johnson.
I will move to authorize the fire department to move forward with the,
Okay, motion by Counselor Johnson and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries, thank you. Any other items of concern? I have two. I know I had a brief conversation with you, Britt, and I see Brian's here. I don't know what can be done. I got a call from the organizers of the Home Boat Travel Show, and as always, I try to refer them to staff for the answer. And so the question was, there's some snow that they're asking to be removed over by the armory so that when the big trucks and trailers come in, that deliver boats and all those kinds can park there. Is there anything that can be done, or?
It is private property, but you need to speak with Jim Ross, the Public Works Director, as they have the equipment for that, not Public Park and Rec.
Okay, so it's owned by a private entity.
Correct.
We'd have to get permission from that private entity to remove it. And so who would be the owner of that private entity, do we know?
Which place you're speaking of? If it's the existing miners, the old miners site, that is the hotel group. If
Okay,
it is the parking lot, that's ours. The parking lot's adjacent to the ball field. Or if it's the Higgins building site, it's Mr. Higgins that owns it.
okay, it would be the parking lot adjacent where the food stand was?
Correct. That parking lot ends right there where that snowbank is. That's where the back building was. There's no, it's just dirt now.
Right, so I mean, they're looking for that big pile that's right there,
Yes, that's the end of the parking lot.
so we don't own that.
We do not actually, but there is, even if we were to clear it, it will be mucky mud, sand, dirt. You won't be able to park on it. I don't believe, but
Okay.
if you talk to Jim Ross, but he can kind of show you a little bit more.
Okay, so, well, I'd like to stay out of this. I just the middle person here. I'm passing it on to staff. So if somebody could get a hold of Chrissy from the Home Boat and Travel Show or the representative and explain that to them, that's not a feasible, that's not an option that we
Yeah,
can.
because where the back building and where the Zamboni garage storage was, is gone. And they did not leave the concrete there, so all that is level to dirt now. So that bank is the end of the parking lot.
Okay, if somebody could just tell that to them, possibly, maybe they already have, I don't know. Maybe that's why they came to call me, I don't know.
Do have a meeting with the Home and Boat Show organizers today, doing some pre-planning for the Home and Boat Show next week.
Could you speak with them about that?
Thank you very much, Brian, I appreciate it. And then I have one more other item. It seems we own that parking lot that's adjacent to the Army moving forward up to the big snowbank. Okay, so I did get a call where I met with Glenn Dahl. He's part of the auto club that does all our auto show in the summertime and the cruise night and those kind of things. And he's part of putting together these, and we do something on the end of the main street too. We've approved that. Now the Champion Auto is looking to do, and they're going to send a letter, but they asked me to bring this up, and I have 2 calls from them to call them back on. So looking for council action or information about that parking lot in the summertime in June for one day. They're looking to have a car show there, and they're going to be sending a letter requesting that. But they made some telephone call, and I don't know who they called, but they had indicated that in order to use that parking lot, it would cost them $500. So I guess I'm looking to find out if that's the case, how that gets done, what kind of council action we can take. based upon what we do for the other car shows. So I'm just looking for some direction here, or if somebody could call the Champion Auto and explain to them the circumstances surrounding their request.
Why don't you give him his number and staff will take care of that?
I will do that.
Thank you.
Whose number should I give?
Give him to me and I'll talk to him.
I will do that, Britt. Thank you very much. I'll make sure they give you a call on your direct line. Thank you. Yep. Okay. All right, anything else to come before the committee of the whole meeting today? Seeing no other items to come, we will stand adjourned. It is now 11:41 a.m. Thank you, everybody. Stand adjourned.